All right, so now we see a game against Petrosian.
Petrosian, yeah, it was probably one of the decisive games the whole match, because after this match, Spassky became world champion. I mean, he took the title from Petrosian in their,
This was
in this
the
match.
game for
Yeah.
the world champion.
And this one is one of the most interesting and most beautiful ones because they played one of the main lines from the Sicilian. And as always in Sicilian, we have very sharp game and very interesting, with many tactical moments like this, you see, and we'll see. Okay, Najdorf variation and knight bd7. Not after knight bd7, this is the main difference. After knight bd7, white has the possibility to come into play very quickly with the bishop in c4. The main line instead of knight bd7 is e6. After e6, main line from Najdorf, you see, e6, bishop e7, and so on. Okay, knight bd7, bishop c4. All right. And here, queen a5, queen d2, theory. And h6. Already after h6, everything is very tactical, Black would play, of course, something different. Instead of h6, it was probably normal to play e6, b5, and bishop b7. This is the main line for black, But okay, after h6, is a little bit strange because white can give the bishop. Normally, he doesn't like to give the black bishop, if black can take back with the piece. If you have to take with the pawn in f6, is okay. But here, black can take back with the knight, and you gave the two bishops. And if you gave the two bishops, normally you don't have too many attacking chances with white, So therefore, the game will be very interesting. How he can attack very, he becomes very dangerous without the black bishop, you see. Okay, it's move by move. Okay, castle, he has very strong initiative. Move by move, he tries to come very quickly with white, you see. Okay, rook h1, bishop e7. Okay, now there's again a very important moment. Instead of bishop e7, he could play here bishop d7, preparing the big castle, the long castle. They found afterwards, after the game, they recommended this.
Was better?
Maybe it was better, yes. Okay, so move by move, bishop e7. But okay, bishop e7 is normal. Bishop e7 is normal, and he tries to, to castle the other side normally. Yeah. All right, bishop b3, rook e8. He wants to wait a little bit, put the bishop in f8, and build a very strong defensive position for black. This is the idea. And coming from Petrosian is normal.
Yes.
Okay, bishop f8, and here, okay, g4, very strong, g4, but you have to do something with white, because if you wait too much, then black, is coming. I mean, if you play, for instance, e5, and black has time to take in e5, take knight d7, therefore, later on, b5, bishop e7 is more or less okay for black, So you have to do something very, very quickly, So, okay, g4, now, of course, you have to take, Now queen g2, he gave a pawn for initiative, for attack. Now, okay, he comes back with the rook. Now you have already to be, careful. It's not so easy for black to defend. All right. And, okay, f5. And now what to do? After f5, after the game, they said that king h8 was maybe not the best move, but okay, it seems normal, king h8. The alternative instead of king h8 was to play queen e5. Well, queen e5, okay, maybe it's possible, but probably it's safer to play at the first glance like this. It's safer king h8. Okay, he played king h8, and now look what happens. He prepares again. Now, if you give too much, if he has time to take in e6, everything comes into play, very quickly in a few moves. But if you look at the position without the black bishop, it doesn't look too dangerous for black. Okay, black is under pressure.
Yeah.
Black has to defend, but nothing happens in 2-3 moves.
Yes.
Yeah. So, all right, queen d8. Here again, instead of queen d8, probably here it was clearly better to play queen e5. But it's move by move again. Why? Because after queen e5, knight f3, he puts the knight in the queen in f4. Very unclear, very unclear. Queen e5, knight f3, queen f4.
F4.
Yeah, here, queen there, and queen f4. And okay, the idea is to put the queen maybe in h4 and trying to defend, somehow, you see. It's very unclear, the position, but maybe better, because after queen d8, black is practically inviting the opponent to come,
Yes.
Okay, queen d8. It seems that he defends for the moment, but white is coming,
Yeah.
move by move. And he comes very quickly with every piece. He's attacking now with every piece. And the first surprise, okay, very easy to find. And now e5, excellent move. Why excellent move? Well, e5 is okay. Now black has to take, And now this is the move, which is very strong and very easy to find. Knight e4. Why is very, very strong? Because now it's impossible to take in e4. Now if you take in e4, it's mate. Knight takes e4,
Here.
rook takes f8 check, and queen takes d7 mate. This is the problem,
Yes.
And if you don't have time to move like this, every piece is attacking, with such a position, a fantastic position. Look, every white piece is attacking, The position is lost. But now you have to demonstrate how, you see. Not too difficult, of course. So knight h5, the only defense, of course. At least it was not mate. I mean, if he takes in f8, it's not mate for the moment, So, okay, so here is probably the last moment where the game could be different, but beauty price all the time, Instead of taking in d4, he could play here knight f4. And now look what a fantastic continuation.
Knight f4?
Knight f4, yes. Now you have to do something very quickly with white. How? You take in f4, you gave the exchange. It's not mate for the moment, it's not mate. But he's preparing. And now, again, look, variation. Well, they show the variation after the game. Yeah. Knight f3. Knight f3, he wants to put the knight in g5 and mate,
Here?
Yeah, he's threatening already knight e5 and knight g5, of course. The only defense is, for the moment, queen b6. b6. Queen b6. And now this fantastic move, found by Tal. Not complicated, but look what a move. Rook g5.
Rook g5?
Well, he's not threatening something for the moment, but he's preparing knight e5,
But
I mean,
if
he wants to give it.
If he takes,
knight takes and mate, the other knight.
the other knight, yes.
Because if you take with this knight, you are mate yourself with queen g1.
Yes.
And now it's mate,
No defense.
He gave all the pieces, but no defense. Fantastic. Well, not complicated, but very beautiful. Yes. All right. So instead, he played.
He
took, and now he's lost. Now again, he's forced, because now you have to take.
He resigned.
But now after knight f6, he takes with the rook and mate in h6. Now if you take, queen takes with check, king g8, queen f7 check, king h8, and rook f3 and mate. f3,
the other one.
Man. Beautiful, no? Not too complicated, but very beautiful. A beauty price.
If it's coming like this...
Yeah, the rook takes and mate. You see?
Yeah.
Piece up, but he's lost. It's no defense for the king. The king is hopeless. The poor king.
So his defense wasn't really strong.
No, he was provoking too much. I tell you. Petrosian, he lost very rarely. Usually, he was very strong in defense, Petrosian, and he had face all the time that he can reject the attack. Of any opponent. Well, Most of the time it was all right, but sometimes it happened like this, and it was beauty prize, and he lost the title.
He lost the title. Wow.
Yeah, terrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what a game! I mean, well, look at this, a fantastic game. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Mr. Gheorghiu.
Sicilian, I tell you, if you usually if black survives in Sicilian the first 20-25 moves, everything is more or less normal. But sometimes you can have such a catastrophe,
Sometimes there is no survival.
Yeah, no survival at all.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Okay.
beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome.